Yeah. Y'all watching the Grind Ethiks mixtape show, and I'm your host, Victory BX Supreme Promoter. Basically, know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Basically, yeah, no doubt. Yo, like I said before in the previous episode, yo, the Live Your Life tour is gonna go on. The Live Your Life tour is gonna go on. I'm gonna go to Atlanta, Georgia, probably in October somehow. I'm gonna let y'all know. Anybody that wants to make donations to the Live Your Life tour, which I'm gonna be traveling throughout the country and interviewing different interesting people, entrepreneurs, nonprofit organizations, nonprofit founders, you know what I'm saying, artists of different types or whatever, first stop, Atlanta, Georgia, you know what I mean? So you want to make a friendly donation to the Live Your Life tour, hey, the link is down below, Cash App, and all that good stuff, yeah. All that good stuff. Right now, I'm on the line with my homegirl who's been in the advertising business for almost 30 years. You know what I'm saying? She's been working at a particular company for almost 30 years. She loves her job. We're gonna do something different where we're gonna praise the 9 to 5ers. We're not bashing no 9 to 5ers on this episode. We're praising them on this episode. 9 to 5ers that like their job. You know what I'm saying? That like or love their job. You know? And we're gonna talk a little bit about the advertising business, the old, the new, the bad, the ugly, and the good, all that good stuff. And I'm on the line with my sister, Nadine. Peace, Nadine. Sac passe, Nadine.
Victory, not Boule.
Yeah.
All hate the massive.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. For 10 years I was Haitian. For 10 years, people been just mistaking me for Haitian. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not Haitian. I'm Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? But for real, I'm either something. I could pass as being almost everything, but Trinidadian probably or some other nationalities. But I could pass as being almost everything. But
Exactly.
but yeah, I'm here with my sister Nadine, advertising guru. You know what I'm saying? She's been in the business for almost 30 years, 1996, since I was in high school.
Yes, it's been that long. I can't believe it. Yeah. I've been working in advertising for almost 30 years since '96. I started out as an assistant in the city, and I landed there just by chance, or I guess maybe universe passed, placed me there because I was really like being an accountant. My dad was an accountant, so I was like doing like financial district stuff. I had a job that in those days, I guess they would be considered hedge funds, and I was working on downtown Water Street, and as an assistant. And back in those days, you could get a job as an assistant like with no problem. It was like it was just a different time. It was the '90s in New York City, and cell phones was just coming into play. At least the ones that you could use, not the big ones that the street pharmacist had. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People was still in effect of it a little bit and things like that. So it was a whole different time. But yeah. I just happened to fall into it, and it's just been a tremendous ride ever since. I can definitely say that. I love every minute of it. I still love it. So yeah, and thanks for having me on the show. I love talking about what I do, and we're gonna get into other things that I do too. So thanks for having me on the show. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Definitely. So how long? What's the particular company you work for? The advertising company.
So the company I work for is called WPP. It's a holding company. So in advertising, there's a few holding companies, and under the holding companies are several different particular ad agencies that they own and they rock. So WPP they have Ogilvy, which is like the number one network agency right now of the year. They have BML, they have AKQA, they have David. They also have Majority, which is Black-owned agency in Atlanta. There's a couple of others, but those are like the major players. There's also Cartwright, which is also a Black-owned agency in LA, owned by Keith Cartwright.
Okay.
So there's that one. And I know I'm missing some, but I definitely mentioned the major players. So yeah, that's the company I work for. There's also a whole of companies like Omnicom Group, and they own like BBDO, which is another big ad agency, and a couple of other agencies under them. And then there's another holding company called Publicis, and Publicis owns like Digitas, and they have a main agency called Publicis. They own that, and there's a couple of other agencies under that. So when you work in advertising, as long as I have, you've probably touched upon all those kind of companies throughout your career. Because while it seems like, oh, it's so big, like any industry, it's kind of small. Kind of run into the same folks over and over again at different agencies. And actually, I think what keeps you in the business is the relationships you tend to build with the people that you meet along the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what particularly you do in the advertising business? Because I remember we was talking about that for like half an hour off camera.
Yeah, right. So what I do in advertising, like in any industry, like let's go for music, since people are so familiar with music, or film, like with film, there's like Golden Globe, and then there's the Emmys, and of course the Oscars, right? And then for music, you have the Grammys, which would be like your official like award, win, like a Grammy, and things as such. And in advertising, it's the same thing. There's these award shows that correlate with the work that you probably see on television, or you see commercials on social media, like pop up, things that, pop up on your feed for certain brands that you probably like. There's award shows and all of that. So there's like these top award shows, and one of them I could say that would be considered the Oscars is the Cannes Advertising Festival. So Cannes Lions Advertising Festival, you probably know Cannes Lions more for the film festival part, where people bring out their films, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the same people, but they also have a Cannes Lions Advertising Festival, and it takes place the third week of June. Same place, same area in Cannes, in France, right? And this is the Oscars of advertising. And I mean, it's a big deal. Like winning at the ears solidifies who you are as an agency. You're like the top creative in your field. People want to work with you. Clients want to give you their business. And there's a ranking systems, and it's all kinds of like, the whole congress of things. It's so deep in that. It's crazy. And it's really what kept me working for the last 30 years. And that's just one of the shows that I'm telling you is considered the Oscars. There's other shows, but this show is the show that everybody wants to win at no matter what,
Okay.
So, and that's just like a little, and so I overlook the work and see the work and say, oh yeah, this can go in these shows. And then I really track the work that's being created by all these different creators globally, So I get to talk to, people that's creating the work. Like the brand that I oversee is Coca-Cola.
Okay.
And, everybody knows Coca-Cola globally, everywhere in the world. Like I think Coca-Cola must have been the first major, brand to be a global brand, like to be a powerhouse brand globally, So
you see Coca-Cola in dictatorship countries. Like I remember I was a kid watching videos of different dictatorship countries, and they have like Coca-Cola and shit. I'm like, damn, how Coca-Cola get here?
Right? But yeah, you see Coca-Cola everywhere. It's dictatorship countries. It is literally in every corner of the globe. And under Coca-Cola, they own a vast majority of things that maybe people don't know, such as Sprite. They own Sprite, they own Schweppes, they own Minute Maid, they own Simply, they own Fanta. So, I mean, and they own a couple of their other, like they own Vitamin Water, they own Powerade. What else? And that's just like a few of like the major brands that you know of and aware of. So they own all those brands, and all that work globally is what I get to see, and I work with the creatives. So the creatives are the people that create the work that you see, you know, and that's just one specific department of advertising, the creative department. There's also strategy, and there's account management, and then there's the production team, you know. So there's different parts that really come together to make that commercial that you see on television like really pop and get launched. And there's also the PR department, the media department, and now they also have a social media department thanks to social media, you know. So all these departments come together to make that work get launched, and you just end up seeing it like, that's a good idea, but it takes so much to get that idea sold to the client and actually go into production and get launched. And it's like a whole, it's a hustle. It's a hustle like no other, like anything else. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it great. I always feel like I'm working with like musicians, like top musicians. Like if they're winning like Grand Prix and gold medals at Cannes, that's like the same as like Prince or somebody winning a Grand Prix Lifetime Award at the Grammys, or, you know, the Music Hall of Fame. It's that kind of level that's happening, but it's advertising, you know? And it's a whole world of these award shows. And yeah, as you can see, like I'm always excited when I talk about it. But yeah, in a nutshell, this is kind of what I do. I look at this work, it goes into awards, we win. And this is the first year that actually Coca-Cola has been with WPP. Well, it's not the first year. We're going into the third year now, but WPP won the account about 2021. So it took a year to structure everything for the company. And then get work created to start going into, you know, the industry, the system and everything like that. And then that's when I came a year ago. I've been working at this agency for almost a year now. I've been in advertising for 30 years, but been here for almost a year. But actually, it's like a boomerang because I was at this very company and worked for 7 years in 2007 to 2014. So it's almost like I boomerang back. You kind of work with the same people over and over again, just in different agencies as people move around and get jobs. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. I hope I didn't like over babble. I feel like I did.
No, you didn't.
That's it.
I was babbling with I was listening to you and babbling with my best friend, my Honduran best friend, Anthony. Big shout out to my brother Anthony from Elite brand. What's the name of this company again? Elite Super Brand LLC. Big shout out to my brother. I didn't expect him to come through on the live. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes family come through for you when you don't expect it. It's not obligated for your friends and your family to always support you. But my brother that I knew for like almost 30 years supported me, and that's peace, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but I hear you, Nadine, and that's peace. And let me ask you this question. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me ask you this question. You there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, okay. What is it about your job that makes you wake up and be like, oh, I can't wait to go to work?
I mean, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I can't wait to go to work, but I do get up and get excited for what I do because of the fact that it's advertising. So, you know, I'm in on like the very beginning of an idea and I get to see it come to fruition, you know? So to see that and follow that and see it get launched and actually be on television or on a billboard in Times Square, that's really like what gets me going. I get to attend these events like when these launches happen and like play ping pong on the Times Square billboard just because I work for this company and get to work with these creators, and it's just an amazing job, and I think it's just like that's what really keeps me going. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Because a lot of YouTubers, a lot of entrepreneur YouTubers be like, escape your 9 to 5, start a business now, escape the 9 to 5 rat race. But nobody talks about the rat race in the entrepreneur world. That's a whole nother episode. So when you think about people who just, advocate that 9 to 5 is totally bad.
I mean, I don't think they're wrong or anything like that. I think it's whatever you feel you can make happen and manifest. You're the creator of your reality, So if you can make a go of it with your art, then that's amazing. If you could make a go of it, you can still make a go of it with your job and still fulfill that dream by having that 9 to 5 be your bank account for your dream, and you can still live that dream. Like while I still work 9 to 5, I happen to sing jazz, and I've done shows, and I've done background for different artists, and all while I'm still working my 9 to 5, and I've done a podcast with folks, and Viktory, I've held shows.
Yeah.
I've had a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? So it doesn't stop me from doing what I really truly love. It just feeds it even more. And yeah, it tends to get a little slower and like to try to manifest other dreams. You know what I mean? Because I got the 9 to 5. So I wouldn't say those people are wrong at all. You know what I mean? But there's no wrong or right way. As long as you know what you want and you go after it, you just be consistent and keep going. You've seen me and you've known me for a minute, Viktory.
I knew you for like 20 years. 2004 when you was you was hosting the underground rap shows at the Lency. You did Joe Pubs, right?
Yeah.
I remember we was at Joe Pubs one time because I rode with the A-Likes. And one Joe Pubs show, you know what I'm saying? The brother with the dreads, I forgot his name. Cool brother. I forgot his name. You know who I'm talking about. The brother with the dreads.
The brother with what?
The brother with the
dreads, but there was a lot of fellas with dreads.
He was organizing a show with you at Joe Pubs. This is when you invited A-Likes to come through to perform.
I can't recall.
Oh, damn.
It could have been like Supreme that was helping me out.
Nah, not Supreme. Supreme don't got dreads. Supreme is A-Likes manager.
He had dreads back then.
No, he didn't.
I could have sworn he had dreads back then.
Nah, but okay. It was. I was on stage with A-Likes, right? I think y'all both was trying to get me off stage because I was on stage waving the red, black, and green flag. Y'all was both trying to get me on stage. I'm like, this is what we do, Nadine. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you and the brother. I'm like, yo, this is what we do, Nadine. I always be on every A-Like show. They be on every A-Like show they perform in New York. I'm always there. Well, half the time waving the red, black, and green flag. I must have been on 100 magazines that don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, because a Mad magazine, there was Mad press that night, right? Mad people was taking pictures and all that. This is before the whole picture craze.
Yeah, it was a good show. It wasn't Joe's Pub. It was at M15.
M15? Was it M15?
Yeah, it was at M15. That's where we had our first event.
Nah, not M1. No, not with A-Like. Well, maybe not with A-Likes, but I'm talking about the time when y'all was trying to get me off the stage. I was in Joe Pubs.
Yeah, I can't recall. I
And
can't
but
recall that at all.
N15, because N15, their system is so muffled. Like I don't know how y'all survived in that. This system is whack.
Yeah, but we had a great event at that. We had a great turnout. We made money. That was my very first event with them. I was happy about that event. And then the things like whatever that thing at Joe's Pub is, that wasn't me, because that event I had with them was at M15. I've been to Joe's Pub mad times, but nah, that wasn't me. And I can't recall the flag situation, so I think I would have remembered that. You know what I mean?
Well, I've been to a few of your joints where have you ever worked with damn, I forgot the brother Bizarro?
No, I never worked with them. I just know of them.
Okay. You okay? Yeah. So we was talking about before.
We're talking about how I think about entrepreneurs and how they poo-poo on 9 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good take on that. That's a good take on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because me personally, I stepped out the 9 to 5 life. You know what I'm saying? Because it just wasn't for me. Everything's not for everybody. You know, I was designed to.
Right.
Yeah, I was designed to do what I'm doing, selling stuff. You know, I got it from my parents. You know, my parents, they wish I was a 9 to 5er with a solid job, but I learned how to hustle from them. You know, but it's funny how, it's just like how Mike Tyson said he didn't want his kids to be boxers. He wanted them to be something else, like doctors or lawyers. That's how my parents was. They didn't want me to be no sellers because they just saw that as supplement income. You know what I mean? So they're into, because my family's Yorubas. They're into like being like accountants, doctors, lawyers, engineers. Igbos, they're more into business. I feel like I think more like an Igbo. Yeah, but yeah, oh yeah, you got we was talking about Bodega Fresh. No. Before we talk about Bodega Fresh, is that all you want to talk about as far as your job experience and your passion?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're asking the questions, but yeah, I'm good. Like that's what I do. I love advertising. It's a great arena. So yeah, ask me whatever you want to ask me. I'm game.
How your job, helped you along with your other endeavors?
Well, the beauty about working in advertising is it's a creative field. So everyone in advertising also has the same outside passions. Like somebody might be a photographer, somebody might be doing, videography on the side, and somebody's working in print and they could, print out something or do a step and repeat for me. So, that's the beauty of working in advertising and, building relationships within that industry, because, that's how it could actually help you out. And that's how they've been able to help me and provide me with things that I need for some of my events. And then a lot of them also attend my events. So it's really cool because I attend theirs. Like they may have a showing or they may have a show. Like, some people are actually musicians too. So that's dope as well, So that's how they've been able to assist me with my outside endeavors.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, have you ever hosted a show at Remote Lounge or no?
Yeah, I used to have Hip Hop 101 there.
Yeah, remote. I remember. Yeah, because I remember that spot, Remote Lounge. I kind of, I kind of missed that spot. And Bowery Poetry Lounge. That was back in That was back in the days. I had fun in those days. I ain't gonna lie. It's the Sutra Lounge.
Good time.
Yeah.
The Remote Lounge, Bowery Poetry Club,
Crash Mansion.
Yup, Crash Mansion. There was a gauntlet of others that I've had events at, and in those days, it was much easier. I mean, you could barter with the door and the bar, and these places downtown on the Lower East Side and places like that. That was a bit grungier. would allow you to have hip hop events. There wasn't like every place that would allow you to have hip hop events. So that's why it was just such a glorious time, you know what I mean? And then, I started hip hop on because I love hip hop, and just ended up meeting all these different artists like the Lights and Mr. Complex and Ty Phoenix and Shabam Sadiq. Yep. And also, the guy that I was dating at that time, he was a DJ and he was touring, and he did some of my events, and just put me on to other artists that I work with to this day, like DV alias Christ, and just a gauntlet of other people. So it's just I can never like stop that other side hustle love, because look at all the people that I meet that are just as creative and amazing. I just feel like people should know about that. So yeah. It's exciting. Viktory. You know all these artists.
I was there. Hassan Salam. Who else? Dead Prez. Saigon. Saigon wasn't really around too much like that.
What happened?
Saigon wasn't really around too much like that in our circle like that.
No, but you still got Duck Down.
Duck Down, yeah, Duck Down was definitely in our circle.
Music, like they still tour.
Evil D was always at Sutra.
You got a gauntlet of producers doing their thing.
Yeah.
I've met people at all kinds of conferences like Lyric Jones. There's also Daru Jones, who's an incredible drummer. I mean, I met all these people, because of the fact that I just, started doing Hip Hop 101, and it just led to one thing after another, and then it just, like, my other passion is singing, so I got into doing, like, I love singing jazz, but I've done background vocals with Ty Phoenix, and Mr. Complex has, introduced me on one of his videos, and, I've met other artists through that, and it's just like one effect on top of another effect. I don't know, I just love that whole universe where how it all tumbles on top of one another, so I think that's pretty much what really keeps me going when it comes to my 9 to 5, because it can also intermingle with my other passions and just, elevate them in certain ways. So it's been actually great. And even certain videos that people are shooting, there's so many things that you can do as a creative and enter the awards arena and, really elevate and give your work some PR, So that's another thing. I don't know if you've been seeing that on my page where, there's been like people shortlisting for certain things and or being nominated for film, festivals.
Yeah.
That's something else that I do. So, it's just, it's endless. It's endless victory. That's really like what keeps me going,
Exactly.
And advertising for me, advertising has just been able to fill all my passions, been able to like fund those passions, and I'm able to live like it's a longer hustle, when it comes to like fulfilling my own dreams, but I'm also getting fulfilled in the 9 to 5 because it's helping me, fund all those dreams, and that's really why I like it, why I really love it, so yeah.
Okay. Yo, my Honduran brother gave you a shout out. He was like, yo, she sounds like my ex. She was Nigerian too. I'm like, she's not Nigerian. She said she's Haitian. No, because a lot of Haitian females got that buzzing voice. Big shout out to my sister Nancy. She's also Haitian. She's in Florida. She's my SEO partner. I call her one of my shooters. She got the same voice you have, kind of like that buzzy voice. I don't know if it's a Haitian thing. I don't know. You got that buzzy voice. But
I don't know. Maybe
you notice? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. But
you got that buzzy voice. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but
now that you said it, I'm gonna start noticing.
Yeah, but like Keith Sweat, like when Keith Sweat, you're a Keith Sweat fan?
Yeah, I love you, Sweat.
Like Keith Sweat, you notice his song is like a buzzy voice. You know what I'm saying? He's like dun 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 dun
It
dun
was
dun.
like a
Dun.
little nasally, you mean?
Yeah, like jazzy. It's real jazzy. It's real
I know
jazzy.
what you mean.
Like
I know.
real. Yo, matter of fact, Keith Sweat, he do sound really jazzy. Like come to think of it, like his voice is really jazzy and really buzzy and jazzy.
It's like nasal. Like,
Yeah, everybody don't have that voice. You got that type of voice?
no, they don't.
You got that
It's
type of
definitely
voice?
a unique voice.
Huh?
It's definitely a unique voice. Like, you, the minute that you hear Keith Sweat, you know it's Keith Sweat.
Yeah,
You can't
exactly,
distinguish
exactly.
voice, you know?
Nobody don't got his voice. Nobody don't got his voice. That's why he's a legend.
Right.
People might not, because I don't know. I feel like Keith Sweat is kind of underrated to me. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think you're right. I mean, when he came out, it was like 88, you know? And he conquered the whole R&B scene with that very first album. So,
Teddy Riley, one of my favorite producers, he's responsible.
right, you know, he's legend in the R&B world. I can't take nothing away from Keith Sweat, and I think the man is still touring, and he still looks the same age. Can't take nothing away from Keith
Yeah,
Sweat.
yeah. He's in his 60s, right?
I think so. He would mess around. He might be pushing 70, but he's definitely in his 60s no matter what, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, you're talking about that. How you think about artists hooking up with music artists hooking up with advertisers as an alternative way to get paid.
Well, I mean, there's a whole system about it, you know? But what I can tell you is in advertising, the music is decided and picked upon by the executive music producer at the agency. So once the work is created, you know, most of the time it's created with a song or something in mind, you know, to like, you know, coordinate with that particular advertising that you see, you know. So it could as simply be up to that executive music producer's taste. Like, oh, I think I hear blah, 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 blah on this. Or the client might say, I think I kind of hear somebody hip hop or blah, 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 blah. Maybe British hip hop. It all depends, you know what I'm saying? Or British hip hop voice, like, who's that? And they could say somebody that's already well known, or they could be like, yo, I want to break out new artists. It all depends on them, you know? So I guess I don't really know too much about the licensing system and how, you know, you get your music and, you know, there's certain things like United Masters and those certain folks, like when you sign up, they're supposed to give you opportunities to like work on film or maybe hopefully get your music fixed, but I haven't heard anyone talk about that successfully per se, you know what I'm saying? So I think the main thing with artists is like they have to just continue to be consistent with their music and put out their music consistently. And you know, and that I know that's tough because sometimes you're not making money off the music, you're making money off of different other things, but that consistent good quality music and then like building relationships with people that you know, like myself of course, will get you in the door. And you just never know where you're gonna land and what's gonna happen. But those executive music producers at these agencies is probably who you want to make a friend with, you know, because they're the one deciding and placing this music onto the commercials. And then, mind you, let's go back to awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
In awards, there are all kinds of categories that you could submit for. And one of them is licensed music and unlicensed music. Mm-hmm. And these executive music producers can submit this work into the award shows for their placement of your work and win, okay? Yeah. So, like, your music could be winning awards with this placement in these advertising worlds. I've seen it done.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Nadine, you got so many artists out here who are not even if you see some of these artists walking on your block, you might not even recognize them. You be like, oh, he's a regular hood nigga or a regular working class dude. But some of these MCs or even singers are making thousands of jingles or thousands of dollars off of video games, syncing and whatever, or syncing their music into video games and getting royalties for every time a person buys that game or whatever. Or I don't know how that goes because you got the virtual digital video game. I'm not into video games no more.
Right.
But a lot of, I'm telling you, Nadine, a lot of artists is making money off of video games and advertising. You know what I'm saying nowadays. And some drill artists say he don't even make hits. He don't care about hits. He makes more money than the average artist that gets signed to a 360 deal, making a couple of hits. And you know what I'm saying? It doesn't even matter because
and look at that.
because I want to know what you get your take on this, right? Because I remember I was watching a bunch of videos on unsung videos, right, of old school artists who were hot in the beginning. They sold one or two hit albums or a couple, or they had a few hit songs, and or maybe they had like a second album or a third album that went floppity flop, and then their career was over, thought that their career was over, and they stopped doing what they're doing. And I'm like, yo, why you dedicating your career to just albums? You do shows. You can still got people that love you. Why not do world shows or do a nation show or whatever, or do a regional show or whatever? Or why you just relying on just album sales? See, they make you think it's all about album sales and put you in that album sale box. But you're an artist and you still got people that like you. You can still get paid signing autographs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully people know like you're not making money that way anymore. You can still create your music, and that needs to be consistent no matter what. But you have to think of your other avenues, like this guy you saying that saw the avenue with the gaming. He doesn't care if he makes a hit or not because he's getting very well paid to create for this gaming situation. You know what I mean? So those are those avenues that you want to like, cultivate and see like if you could get your music in those spots and those creators that's creating those video games and stuff. So there's all kinds of ways. There's so many ways. It's ridiculous.
Yo, there was this one brother who be dressing up like Tupac, right? And he be going to different weddings and different special events or whatever, and he be like doing Tupac cover songs, and he be getting paid like more than a rapper getting signed. This dude be getting thousands. You know what I'm saying? So this,
right.
no record company involved, no middleman. Maybe he has a little agent or a manager. That's about it, and that's it, man. Like it's so many. Like the record
market is a really big deal. Look at that guy that looks like Method Man, right? And he comes in and he's always talking about the recipes and whatever, acting like Method Man. He's got a bunch of followers. Like I forgot where he's at, but he's I guess some type of influencer now because of that. And then there's this guy that I happen to recently follow, and all he does is do these weird poses, and he freezes them like he's in front of like a Zara magazine or Elle magazine, and it's these funny poses. This guy has 1 million followers just doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow. He created a song off of that. He created a song that's in the background, and people ask like, yo, where's that song from? He's like, people are asking me more about the song than me doing these poses, but the correlation of the song with the poses is so perfect. It's like, wow, look what you did. You created a song. You got 1 million followers now, So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a whole different world now, and influencers play a heavy role and, can get brands to sponsor them, as long as they have like a good, clean kind of look, you could get a lot of people to be like, okay, I'm going to put you in a commercial. Look what happened to Tabitha Brown, and her whole line. Like, she popped off during the pandemic and just so happened did something on TikTok with her daughter that went viral, and that was that. Now this woman has her own, not just hairline, she's got her own seasoning. She's got a cutting board that's that's shaped like a hair pick, and it's in Target. She, clothing line and stuff. It's ridiculous how much products that she's been able to have, and wrote a book, had a children's show.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So just by her, and she was always pursuing being an actress, mind you, but she was struggling, driving an Uber. And she had to go vegan one day, and she was doing these recipes, and man, look at, she's a $1 million, 7-figure, whole family done leveled up just from being consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Now, being that you was you have anything else to say?
No.
Now, being that you've been in the advertising business for almost 30 years, since '96. Were you amazed at how just the advertising world changed? You know what I'm saying? Since the social media kind of just, you know what I'm saying, went kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like just the vibe of it. You know what I mean? Like how things are just going fast and shit, because a lot of advertising companies couldn't keep up in the middle of the social media boom. Now they're keeping up. You know what I'm saying? How you feel about all that? Like all the change and how social media changed the scope of advertising? That's the question I really want to ask. That was the other.
I mean, I think
sorry for the long ass other question.
I think it's great because I'm still able to work because of the fact that social media plays such a heavy role, and advertisers want to know and be in on that because it's an avenue for them to elevate their brand and make their brand, get awareness and make money. So I love it, I get to work with those folks that create like the work that you see for brands on social media. It's a whole lane, there's categories and award shows dedicated just to that, so I love it. And yeah, it changed the landscape and made it a bit easier because when I first started, this is pre any digital era. You're talking about the 90s, and I was able to see the launch of, MySpace, which is the first shit for me anyway. But to me, what really changed the dynamic of everything was when MP3s was created. So, I mean, I just feel like it felt subtle, but it really shifted everything, like with the launch of, I'll just bring it up with the launch of, with Napster launching, and this was like 2000 maybe, 2000, really 2001. Napster changed the dynamic of things with music and how you can digitally transfer music, right? So when I was doing awards, I would usually have to go to the production department and get a big 3/4-inch tape edited over and over again to get it right, and then like package it and then send it out. There was no digital nothing, you know what I mean? It took much longer to submit to award shows. And when it came to like submitting print, there were no JPEGs. There was none of that. You have to go up to the print room, pull the print ad itself, go to the print production, get it mounted and all that. With the digital age coming through and the rise of the internet, I have to say, and social media, it just changed the dynamic of how fast things can go. And as you can see, it moved pretty fast. Like after 9/11, things shifted and moved rather fast. To think about the creation of so many things like the iPod. Now we don't even use that thing anymore.
Yeah.
Remember how amazing that thing was? Oh my God! I still have my iPod. They just, who cares, right? So anyway, I think it's phenomenal, and it's just going to keep elevating. And I don't feel like it's taking away any jobs. I think it does help move things along even faster, though. So it's kind of hard to keep up with all the changes happening. You know, like now you can purchase through your phone. Back then, let's forget about it. Nobody thought you could purchase or even watch television on your phone. You thought that shit was just in the movies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now look, you know, they're doing all kinds of advertising for the e-commerce. The e-commerce is a big deal, which is when you buy shit on your phone. You know what I mean? When you see ads for your favorite shit, eBay, anything, that's a whole lane of people creating that ad on social media for you to see it. It's a whole lane. You know what I mean? It ain't just popping up because, oh, you just happen to love eBay. Nah, that shit is programmed in. And they got, you love Adidas sneakers? eBay got a gauntlet of them. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see it come up on your feed if you just touch upon it one time. That's a whole algorithm programming. Programming is another lane, right? Mm-hmm. It's a whole lane, man. It's a whole lane. Like you get awards for programming certain shit into the algorithm. And the programming can also include like when you would be in an elevator and you saw advertising on that digital screen. That's programmatic. It's programming advertising into your sensory as you walk around. You know what I mean? So it's like an outdoor billboard, shit like that. You know, mm-hmm. Outdoor billboards.
Yeah, outdoor billboards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, or a bus shelter. Those are considered outdoor billboards. Stuff like that, you know, those all been submitted for awards or have a category that you could submit to win awards, you know. And then there's the design lane. You can win awards for something you've designed for a can. It's so much shit. It's just crazy, you know.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah.
And that's what geeks me out. Like I can geek out and be like, oh, you know, I like your video. I love the font that you use, and be like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's really nice. You know, you could submit for that font. I can, yeah, you can win something for that, you know. And they'll be like, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah. Like, you know, font placement. You did a great job. It goes along with the theme of your video. Blah 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 blah. It's so much. It's so vast and deep. You know, then it's endless of where you can win in awards. But I think the start of the boom of the digital era and MP3s and JPEGs, it advanced on how fast you can, you know, move information around and get things launched and done. So I love it. I'm still working. So I'm happy about it. Every time something happens to shift like how things are done, people are always scared of how we're going to take it, like AI, the way we're doing now, you know. But right now, people are using AI to assist on things, but AI feeds off of us. So we still have to, like, keep creating in order, like, for AI to even assist us, you know. So, but that's even progressing us even quicker. Like, now we don't have to think about it too hard. We have AI to kind of assist us to, like, elevate us a little quicker instead of waiting and overthinking something, you know? So, exactly. I don't know. I love it. I'm happy about it. Like, yeah. You know, like, even with creation of music, you really don't even have to go into no studio. You can put a studio right there in your room. Mm-hmm. You're done.
But you know, I like my music. You know, Nadine, I like my music, and I like my music crunchy and analog sound, like some 1930 jazz music. You know what I'm saying? I'm an analog baby, man.
Right.
That's just me. I don't like music that's too computerized. I mean, I like the idea of combining analog and digital. That's cool, you know, because I'm not all the way an analog dinosaur, but you know, I just feel like it just needs to have that little life, you know what I'm saying? That heart, right. You know, that little right. Dirtiness, and sometimes I like a little imperfection in music, a little dirtiness. That's when you know it's real. Because when you know in a live band, You know what I'm saying? Live bands sound like kind of offbeat, but then they get it together and everything sound right. You know, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
So you probably the kind of person to be like still buys vinyl and
yeah, I
want to
buy
get in that
vinyls. Yeah, I
scene.
do. I do buy vinyls. I buy vinyls and I sell vinyls.
Yeah.
Peoples, I got vinyls for sale. Yeah, just to let you know, I got that. Then again, I'm not selling my Janet Jackson Control on vinyl that I bought for $1. I'm not selling that right now. I'll probably keep that for 20 years. It's in good condition, Nadine. And also I got another Janet Jackson. Since you're a music nerd like me, I got another Janet Jackson on vinyl that's in good condition. What you done for me lately? Remember that joint? Of course you gotta remember it. Come on. Yeah, 80s teenagers, like my siblings.
Yeah.
You like my big sister's
Nah, don't
age.
sell it.
Oh, come on.
Never sell that.
You said never sell it? Okay, never sell it. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna sell it eventually.
I mean, eventually, but right now, like, hold
Yeah,
on to
it's in
that.
good condition. You know what I'm saying? I bought it for the low. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna ask you this question. What do you think about social media ads? Since we're talking about the changing of advertising through social media, what do you think about social media ads?
I mean, social media ads are great. I mean, this is where, advertisers are always wanting to, tap into the new generation and where they are, and that the Gen Z is what the current generation is. So, like, social media is a very active part of advertising. If you have a campaign and doesn't have a social media component, then you're wasting a lot of time. Like, you don't want people to find you or notice you, and you don't want like that young generation to see you. But they're tapping into that young generation no matter what, no matter what. So social media is a heavy component of advertising. That's my answer for that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. What do you think about nowadays? Do you think advertising or advertising for somebody on your social media site, your website, do you think nowadays it's a every man's game now? Because I told you about the woman that did a little rap jingle on Ponsole, and she got paid. Trust me, she got paid. I forgot. I don't even know her name, but big shouts to her. She got paid. You go home, girl. You better get that money. She got paid for that Ponsole joints. Because nowadays, you already know, advertising companies are now they're not buying, they're not putting invested in like big gigantic production for commercials now. They're asking regular people like me and you to pull out your phones, your Androids, your iPhones, and do us a commercial on Heineken or Pepsi, or you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know.
Well, one thing, they are definitely people on social media that look for influencers, that see like who's doing what and what they're doing, and if it's something that aligns with what they like, then yeah, they'll tap on it, and say, hey, we like what you're doing. And it could be as simple as, for example, I think during the pandemic, there was that guy that happened to be on a skateboard listening to Fleetwood Mac and drinking a cranberry by what was that line? The cranberry juice from Ocean Spray. Ocean Spray saw that and was like, oh, wow, that was pretty cool. And he was killing it on his skateboard, I think they ended up using him in one of the commercials. He just happened to do that. It wasn't on purpose. He loves Fleetwood Mac, and he loves drinking that juice, and he loves his skateboard. This is an older guy. Nobody like, oh my God, he's good looking. Just a regular fella. You know what I mean? And Fleetwood Mac sales went up. Who knew? This was during the pandemic. So you never know what can go viral. And I know one thing brands love is they love tapping into authentic culture, So they'll look for someone that's doing something authentically themselves, not nobody overzealous or trying to do something just because, And that's what they love. They love that that, you know, anybody could relate to this type of moment.
Yeah,
So
it's every man's game
yeah,
now.
we love that.
It's every man, every woman's game, every dog, and every cat's game now. Even cats and dogs are advertising for products. What do you think about that? What do you think about the whole cat and dog craze on social media in conjunction with advertising?
Well, it's not a craze. I mean, it came from
I mean, we always like cats and dogs. We
really
always love cats and dogs.
Yeah, but the reason why it's even like popular now is because of what Trump said at the Democratic debate about how, you know, immigrants in Springfield, Ohio are allegedly stealing cats and dogs to eat, which is bullshit. So that's why people are like doing all these memes and things like that, which I don't think is really cool, because I'm just like, you heard what he said about Black people, which is Haitian people, and you know, like, come on, you know, like, you should be pissed off instead of doing memes. It's disrespectful, and they're always doing that. It's always throwing some type of, like, you know, like a curve at some Black race, and you know, people turn it into memes like it's funny. But in the meantime, what he's doing is calling Black people, you know, like savages. It's like fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, people are doing memes. But that's really what he's doing. He's fucking thumbing his nose at Black people in general, but people don't seem to get it. But it's okay. You know what I mean? That's what they want. That's how this world works, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? But he's basically a racist that said that, and people are, you know, when you think about, you know, cats and dogs and people are doing memes, but you know, like, this man just made a racist remark. This guy is the man that pulled out an ad in the New York Times to have the, you know, the Central Park Five, you know, put in jail for life, or even, you know, murdered in jail. You know, so like, I think it's in poor class. It's tasteless. That's what I think about it, honestly. You know what I mean?
Well, advertising in conjunction with cat and dogs.
It's no advertising conjunction with cat and dogs. You're saying, like, why is the fascination with it lately? I'm like, it's not a fascination. It's that it's just like lately what's happened is what Trump said, and that's why you're seeing all these memes about cats and dogs, you know?
No, Nadine. There was a fascination with cats and dogs on social media way before that, for years now.
It was, but the fact that you're mentioning it now and what you've been seeing lately is because
Nadine. I don't do the news. My mama, she wakes up 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning to watch the news. She makes me not want to watch the news. I don't do none of that. I don't even do Twitter. That's why I'm not on Twitter also.
These memes lately on social media is not because of the fascination of advertising like cats and dogs, because there is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's been going on. In this last week since the debate, if you paid attention, there's been a rise in, like, a lot of memes with cats and dogs, right? But there is always a fascination with cats and dogs because, again, that's a relatable thing. Not everybody has a pet, but a good majority of people have pets, and they love their pets, you know? So that's the fascination there. So it's a culture, it's a thing, you know, when it comes to advertising. But what's sad is what's happened this past week, and I thought you were correlating, like, what's the fascination? Like, everybody seems to love cats and dogs. I'm like, well, this is what happened this week. So if you're seeing a lot of shit, because this guy, and he's just terrible. It's so tasteless. But there's been a lot of people just pushing, like, memes of cats and dogs, and it would be cute. But because of the fact that what just happened, I'm like, oh God, this is terrible. You know, it's so bad. You know, and I usually don't watch the debate, so even me, I was like, why are people putting cats between sandwiches and sandwich bread? You know, right? And then they were like, you didn't see the debate, and I'm like, oh my God, why? You know what I'm saying? Right? So it's been a crazy week. it's been a crazy week for cats and dogs and Haitian people because you said Haitian people did it. You know what I mean? So
Hey, I want to give a shout out to my uncle's cat. First time we met, he bit me. Now he's cool with me. I'm a cat person. I love cats. The cat in the bodega, that's my favorite cat. The cat in the bodega around the corner, that's my favorite cat. I always play with I always play with bodega cats, even as a grown ass man. Anyway.
You know what I want to tell you is so funny?
Yeah.
There is a girl who has a show. Well, it's her podcast or Instagram thing where she just goes around. It's called Shop Cat, and she goes to the different bodegas and talks about their cats. It's the craziest thing.
Oh,
but
shoot.
She got mad followers.
Damn.
It's called Shop Cat, and that's all. She goes to different bodegas and, oh, what's your cat's name? And she talks to the cat, and it's funny as hell. It's clever. I love it.
I would like to advertise with her.
It's called Shop Cat. You gotta check it out, Viktory. I think you'll love
it. See Nadine, that's the type of content. If she probably have a lot of engagement. That's the type of content that small or big or medium sized businesses would want to, advertise their money on, whatever. Because if it's the right type of market, if their audience is the right type of market for whatever particular type of business, because everything's not for everybody. As far as you already know, as far as advertising, you got to advertise to the right target market. If you can't advertise motorcycles to people that's into, I don't know, yoga or some shit. I don't know.
Right.
You got to advertise motorcycles to motorcycle gangs or Facebook social media groups that's into motorcycles or motorcycle clubs or motorcycle gangs, whatever.
I agree. I totally agree. I'm going to share. It's called Shop Cat Show, and I think you'll love it. She's got like a few posts, so she must have just got started, I'm thinking, but I love it. Like, whatever she's done so far, I'm like, this is too cute. I love it. She's been in Park Slope. She talked to some cats. And right?
She interviewed cats, you said?
What happened?
She interviewed cats, you said?
She interviews cats. They call Shop Cats. And she goes to different bodegas or stores in New York. I think she's only done 4 or 5 shows so far.
She interviewed cats. Oh man, and what do these cats be saying?
She talks to the bodega owner about the cat. She what is your favorite thing in here? She follows the cat around. She asks some people in the store what you think about the cat. It was like silly shit, shit that you would ask that you think about a bodega cat. And I think that's just like a clever thing to do. Like,
it is.
I'm thinking somebody should have a show about bodega cats, but people are so.
That's the type of content. That's the type of content big corporations that sell cat food will advertise. If she has not a million followers, but a million watchers, let's say, that would be good for companies that do that make cat food or whatever, or to sell cat food. That would be good. Like that'd be perfect right there. Like I was saying before, it fits.
Yep.
Or cat toys, or cat clothes or whatever. Yeah.
Cat food, pet food. I mean, she's at some spot, and there's a cat called Ice Spice, like a tabby, and it's a very popular cat.
Oh, damn.
So they were like, she's my cat, like, oh, you pay for a vet? He's like, sometimes, I don't know, the cat's all over the place, and people are used to the cat. Yeah. I don't know which bodega she's at right now, but it's a clever idea, and it's smart, and you're right. And then he wears like these little weird eclectic outfits, and I'm like, she's a perfect little influencer. These are the kind of things brands be looking for, like you said,
Exactly. Now let's talk about your podcast show you're doing. You interview a lot of people that you met along the way.
Yes. So my podcast is called Award Tour Talks. It's on the iRant network with Logic. Shout out to Logic.
Big shout out to Logic. That's how we met. I think we met through Logic. Oh, did we? I
I
don't know. I
think
forgot.
so. Big shout out to Logic.
Yeah.
He coordinated with me, and I was able to record my show and launch it with him. And you can find it on that platform. You can find it on my YouTube page, which is Nadine Michal, Award Tour Talk. And I'm also on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. But yeah, I've been able to, with my love of advertising, I meet all these great creators who win these different awards. So why not showcase them on this show and then also let the people know a little bit about advertising in that awards lane. So there's so many different people that I get to speak to and get to work with. And, they come on my show, and it comes from it could be anyone from a journalist to a chief creative officer of entertainment, or a diversity and inclusion director, which is a whole nother lane in advertising. So it's great, and I love it, and it's very informative and insightful. If you want to know more about advertising and know those people, you should definitely check out my show. I mean, and then people that are on my show, you could reach out to them on LinkedIn easy, and you just never know where that can go. But I love it. And that's just, I think, one of the shows that I have based on the love of everything that I'm doing. But, that could lead right back to Bodega Fresh.
Bodega Fresh.
Bodega Fresh. I started back in 2012, but that was almost simultaneous while I was also co-hosting with the Bad Seed on Six Man Radio. We had Six Man Radio in 2012, which was superior. It was amazing. We interviewed some of the best, Raheem Devon and Jill Scott and Faith Evans.
Yo, you should still put you should still put those videos out of that. You say you got all these famous people. Nadine, you should just put them shits out on YouTube, yo. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep just to keep just to keep people their mind refreshed about Bodega Fresh.
You're right, and I'm gonna do it right away.
They put out videos,
yeah. I'm gonna put it right on the award tour page, hey.
Yeah, keep people join refresh. Let people know it's coming back. Let people know it's coming back.
It is coming back, and I can't wait because like I said, you once you get into hip hop and we've known each other for those 20 years or plus there, Victory. You can't really. It's so many people creating such amazing work and art. It's hard to turn your back and be like, don't do nothing about that. You have a love for it, and I love it. And Bodega Fresh is definitely gonna make a comeback, and I can't wait for that. And and I'll even re-interview all the people that interviewed on Bodega Fresh back then. They're still making music. They're still pushing their art and successful at it. So gonna do a little recap of that and refresh you guys. And then do here they are now, you know what I mean? And do a little bit more IRL, more in real life. So a little bit more in-person interviews and stuff. But yeah, I love Bodega Fresh and man, it was a really good time, And shout out to the Bad Seed who brought me on as a co-host for Six Man Radio. That was such an amazing time and adventure, and that's where I launched Bodega Fresh off at because I was interviewing all those artists that I was meeting on the circuit, on the rise and doing their thing, from A3C and End of the Week and Lyricist Lounge and everyone that was on the circuit performing and doing their thing. So it's great. It's amazing.
Your big shout out to Respect the God. Speaking of people that was in that circle those years, Respect the God was definitely doing shows when we was in that when we was in that world or whatever. We had mad fun. I'm just reminiscing while you was talking about 20 years. I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm still reminiscing about 20 years. I feel 25 again.
I mean, those were really great days. I mean,
Yeah, it's really great days, man.
I mean, such amazing artists, you know, like the Bad Seed and Shabam Sadiq, you and QN5. So
Remember Ray Six? Remember Ray Six? What happened to Ray Six? Yeah, she was not Ray Six.
Ray Six. Ray moved to LA and
I didn't know that. Oh, big shout out to Ray
in the
Six.
film industry. Yeah, he's doing big things in the film industry. Ray Six was a force to be reckoned with. A beautiful artist with an amazing voice, so sexy. You know, she was like a Vanity or like Apollonia. Like, you know, her whole style was really dope. Man, Ray Six. Yes, she was on Bodega Fresh as well. You know.
She's alright. She's alright. She's alright. I still, you know what I'm saying. I still feel some type of way when I went to one of her New Year's Eve party in Brooklyn, and she didn't give me no weed brownies. I know I'm petty. I'm petty. But big shout out to Ray Six though. That's my homegirl. Big shout out. I see her every now and then. She don't care about me, but you know what I'm saying. But I see her every now and then. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's going on, yo? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she's definitely connected with the people that we're connected to. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because the people we're connected to are not just some underground rappers or underground producers. Some of these people are fashion designers. Some of these people are entertainment lawyers. Some of these people are club owners. You know, some of these people are big time promoters. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people are fashion models, and because back in those days, you had upscale fashion models in the underground, you know what I'm saying, hip hop show and shit, and it'd be like grungy mixed with upscale. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how Crash Mansion was. For example.
It was definitely like that.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So, oh my goodness, we could be talking forever on things.
Exactly. But I just want to tell you who I want you to interview as far as your podcast. Since you're talking about advertising, you gotta interview Steve Stout. You can't have an advertising show without interview Steve Stout.
Yeah, Steve Stout. I'll put that on my list. But Steve Stout, shout out to him. He is owner of Translations and also United Masters, which is the license agreement and part of his company for independent music artists. So I know a lot of people signed up with United Masters, but you know, I think they've said it's the same thing as like signing up with Sony and things like that. They're going to the things you have to like understand, and sometimes you don't get placement. But yeah, Steve Stout has been able to do amazing things with Translations, and they are like the number one diverse small agency in advertising. So yeah, they've been doing some amazing work. So I will definitely put that on my list for you, Victory, to the interview Steve Stout.
Got to interview Steve Stout, and then you hook me up with the interview. Then you know it's afterwards. That's when I get more numbers.
Definitely, I'll put that into play. But yeah, thanks for having me on your show.
Definitely.
I mean, it's been amazing. We could talk like forever and ever. And things. I really appreciate you.
Definitely. Tell people your social media sites and stuff like that.
Definitely. So you can find me on my podcast, which is Award Tour Talk on the Instagram. And then you could also follow my other page, which is Lady_Pies, PIEZZ. On Instagram as well. You know, sometimes I gotta look at it myself like, is that right? But yeah, Nadine Michal, Michel on Instagram, and that's Lady_Pies, PIESZZ. So you can find me on those pages. I'm also on Facebook and YouTube. So follow that on YouTube, Award Tour Talk. And there's some new episodes coming out before the year is out, so look out for that. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Thank you, Nadine, for being on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt. All right. Peace, sister.
Go. Peace out. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my sister Nadine. Yeah, man. Thank y'all for watching. Anybody that like that episode, I'll be very grateful if anybody subscribe, like, drop a comment, yo. Cause some of y'all peoples that I know physically outside of social media, y'all be saying y'all like my y'all be watching my show and y'all like it. So if you like it, yo, drop a comment or smash the like button. You know, or subscribe. You know what I mean? So these damn robots could push my show. Most likely, I better yet, just drop a comment. I need more comments than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So my algorithm could build up. I'm still gonna do this Live Your Life tour. So if you want to donate to the Live Your Life tour, that'd be great. First stop is Atlanta, Georgia. Then we go into Jacksonville. Then we go into LA, Seattle. We go into Texas. As far as Texas, it's gonna be Dallas, Houston. Yo, big shout out to my brother Ant Dogs. He's from the Bronx, but he's living in Dallas now. So I'm gonna go visit him. He has his own store out there. I should wait to I should interview him in Dallas. You know, what do you think? I should interview in Dallas or interview before I go to Dallas? Anyway, um, uh, 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 um, yeah. But big shout out to my man Ant Dogs, who was on the line, listening to the interview. But what else? I'm talking about maybe Denver. You know what I'm saying? Probably Boston, maybe Philly, probably Pittsburgh. You know, certain things in the works wherever I know people at, because I know people all over the country. So I'm trying to get in contact with my brother D. Bree representing the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? Representing Oakland. Big shout out to D. Bree. Yo, bro, pick up your phone, bro. Pick up your phone so I could go out to the Bay Area and we do an interview you or whatever, and show me around Bay Area. I'm checking in. I'm a New York nigga checking in Cali. Yes, I'm checking in. Fuck it, but I'm checking in with niggas I know though in Cali. I'm not gonna check in with anybody. Cause there's something about New York niggas. There's something about New York niggas going to Cali. Anyway, you know, but yeah. Anyway, I'm out, y'all. And remember, peoples, tell a friend and tell a friend that it's all about the motherfucking grind. Basically.